Hey guys. Okay, I was messing around with this Ramby slider, coloradostate.edu, which links in the description box. And I thought I was pulling up the Himawari, but I must have clicked the Go 17. So setting it up, put on the maximum number of frames and the shortest number of minutes. And here, this is on 1024. This is the newest satellite they put up there, the Go 17 weather satellite. So this is a shot from 1024. They said it's going to be offline from 1024 until November 13th as it moves to its operational position. But while it was here, look what we caught. This is back on the 24th. So remember, I first started making vids on the 17th when it showed up on the Go 16 East. Same part of the world, shown on the same part of the world, the Go 16. But apparently this Go 17 is not in the same position because it says it's being closed down from the 24th till November 13th to move to its geosynchronous operational position. And you can see, man, whoa, thing's really picking it up. That's the best shot I've seen from the Go's on this side of the planet. This was when it was a week in to being viewed by these reflections being viewed by satellites, but I only catch one beam reflecting off it on the Go 16, I think. And of course it was all pixelated out way up here, which I'll show you the latest on the RAM-B. This is 11.1. There's Melbourne. Starts showing up around 13, start seeing some light. You can see how they have it all stepped out, pixelated out. So this is around 11 p.m. Melbourne time. Melbourne's over here, thereabouts. Look how white the beam is. That's from the sun simulator. I have no doubt about it. And there's some other beams reflecting off it. There's the pixelated area. So it's still there, guys. That's the sun coming around. I thought for a minute that that was it, lighting up the earth, but apparently not. Or the sun simulator coming around with the sun, of course. So you're getting probably some sun reflection there. That's like a normal sun color. So anyway, that's that. Here is the latest ISWA run. No missing time. Nothing too crazy on this one except some serious plasma discharges. But the wind speed, when I pulled it through, didn't look too crazy. Well, there was some high 700s. That's pretty crazy. So we'll let this play through a minute so you can see the last run here. See those fluctuations coming in? Where are they coming from? I still submit it's from that big planet that passed ACE and discover at the L1 Lagrange point back on October 16th. That's when the gaps quit showing in front of the ACE satellite, the 9-hour gap. I wish I could extrapolate how big that planet is by how many hours that it was blocking on the ACE when it got to its closest point, which was about 9 hours. So how many degrees would each hour be on ACE? I'm not sure. I did kind of try to look, see what the scope of the instrument was as far as the radius, taking the data from the sun. I think I saw 15%. So I don't know how you would do the math on that. I'm not that good at math, but if anyone wants to give that a shot, it should be something that might be able to be calculated. Maybe, I don't know. Look at that big And that's coming from out here. Look at those field lines coming in. See those squiggly field lines? I submit that this is from the planet that passed ACE some 15 days ago, 16 days ago. And I say it's headed this way ever since. That's why you're getting all these field lines stacking up in front of the Earth, interplanetary magnetic field lines, and all these fluctuations in the velocity and the density on the solar wind that's impacting our magnetosphere, magnetosphere. So, I mean, I don't see how it could be anything else. Look at those crazy field lines, man. And we got some serious instability in the magnetosphere. This is on ACE, this is on Discover rather. Now Discover went up in 2016, yeah, I think it was July 17th, 2016, and that's Discover. It went up to replace ACE. So I think its instruments are just a little more sensitive. That's why we're getting maybe some different density readings and so forth. That's about the only thing that's different that I've noticed on the two. But look at these phi angles. See how serious instability in the interplanetary magnetic field lines. And like I've said many times, anything above 180 indicates a direct connect to Earth with some kind of a solar body behind the planet. That's why they even took the zero out here, because if it's a zero phi angle, which I guess was quite common at one time, and this is down there close to 0.64. Then you see how it hops up to 300 something, 358, 357. So it's hopping back and forth, the interplanetary magnetic field connection between Earth and the Sun and Earth, and mostly it's connected to Earth and Nemesis, because anything above 180 indicates a backside connection. Look at all this instability in here. So like between 01200 and 0800. Let's see if we see anything on here that would reflect on that. Well, not really on this one, except, I mean, look at all this stuff here. These are polar cap field lines. The blue ones are the interplanetary magnetic field lines. Look at all these ones stacking up out here, these blue ones. And then look how the polar cap field lines, they have to close. When they become closed, they link back up with the Earth. Normally, when they close, they're just like little, like this. And that's when you get the auroras, when they close at the poles. That's when you see the aurora borealis. But now they have to close, and they're extending way out here past 100 Earth radii, and each one of these is 5 Earth radii. So that's 80 Earth radii. That's 100 Earth radii, and an Earth radii is about 4,000 miles, 3,959. Well, let's see what it looks like here between 08 and 012. See how it's getting bounced? Oh, shock. Well, I'm running out of time as usual. So, hang on. Okay, I got these 3 linked back up, and these 2 are linked together. So, you see what I'm talking about? All those red field lines. Holy smokes. So the Earth is having to expel a lot of energy, and I imagine a lot of it's coming from the planet. So I think that's weakening our magnetosphere, which is also causing this bow shock to be impacted more and more. Because if you look at the solar wind on Discover, it's very low. Average is 400 to 700 kilometers per second. They got this dialed way down between 300 and 400. And it barely gets above 350. Same as on ACE. You can see there, still got some splashed out effects. See how that the interplanetary magnetic field biangles are all screwed up? So basically these things measure the same stuff. They're in the same spot, the L1 Lagrange point out here, 930,000 miles from the Earth. So that big planet, which was tracking, I was tracking a gap on ACE for almost from the beginning of the, almost I'd say from February probably. Late January, February, I noticed a gap on ACE every time I pulled up ACE. It was like a 3 to 4 hour gap, then it got to 4 to 5 hours, then it got up to 6 hours, then it got up to 8, 9 hours. And then all of a sudden on October 16th, and I kept wondering, what the heck is that gap? And then all of a sudden the gap went away on October 16th and 17th. Then the gap started appearing again. So that's when I discovered this. This is the data plot. This is tracking plots when ACE has to send their data back to the ground tracking stations. So there was a gap after the 16th and 17th of about 8 hours for a few days, several days. But it was appearing on here too. So it had passed the L1 Lagrange point and was between the ACE satellite and the Earth. And as you can see now, there are no gaps. Finally, this is the first day with no gaps. We had one about 15-minute gap yesterday, and that was it. Discover, no gaps either, except we did have a small gap here, and that was a data gap, 8, 9 to 10 something. Hang on. I had to move it back to 3 days. See, that's the gap I'm showing you on the ACE from 9:08 to 10:20. That was this morning, today. So still getting a small gap on Discover from one of those objects. I say it's one of the moons because we were getting some small gaps, couple hour gaps on ACE data gaps once that big planet passed by. So man, we got some incoming stuff here, guys. And I mean, we got a big one incoming that went past ACE, and then we got this one that passed or came into view of these geosynchronous satellites on the 16th. I caught it, 16th or 17th of October. And these geosynchronous satellites, they travel around here, 22,236 miles above the Earth, which is where these GOES 13 and 14 are, which are supplying all this data to run these simulations. So all these solar wind speeds you see, they're all coming from these, not from the ACE, because I showed you that it barely gets to 350 miles kilometers per second. And as you can see, we're getting up over 700, close to 800 in here. And then I showed you some horrific wind speeds the other day of 1,865. So that's all coming from Nemesis. And it's all being measured by these, not by ACE. Oh, I pulled up the MLSO. They gave us a lot of images. We got like 50 some images. I got it on swing, so it goes up to 53 and then starts back down. I don't think they cleaned this thing up too much, if at all. They may have. We still got a lot of stuff flying around, as you can see. In the last couple days, they weren't giving us any images, so this is pretty cool. Still have some of these big signatures here of concentric circles, and this thing measures magnetivity to some point degree. And this gamma white light mode, and watch we get later in the run. Look at all that big stuff flying around. And these are in 4-minute or 6-minute sets. I'm not exactly sure, but I know they're not moving as fast as they would appear to be moving. So anyway, check my comment section I put the hypothesis in there about the big planet passing 8, and definitely open links in the description box for this L1, Lagrange point, and so forth, and the solar ham space weather tutorial. God bless, peace, I'm out.